couple years ago, one of their limited collections, you know, there was a piece of it that looked like a certain part of the human anatomy that it's probably not supposed to look like. Tell me you see it. I know you see it. It's right there. It's right there. They have a giant, you know, on it. That's what we want? No. No. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're getting a little bit controversial potentially, and we're talking about designer brands that I don't buy. Bear in mind, these are opinions that are mine, and I know you guys hate when I do these long disclaimers. I really think it's very important to do that. I don't want to just come on here and just like, you know, shit on you guys' favorite brand and have everyone's feelings be hurt. So just know that there are certain things that fit in with my lifestyle and with my like look, and certain things that just don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. If I mention one of your favorite brands, then, you know, it is what it is. I know there are many of you in the comments who will tell me about how much you dislike some of the brands and things that I like. So, you know, we're all different and we're all gonna love different stuff. We're all gonna dislike, you know, some different things too. So that's all good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And you know what? Matter of fact, comment down below if there's any brands that you just don't go for and why, because I really want to see like what goes into other people's minds when it comes time to shop luxury. When you're scrolling through a designer sale, you know, I do my little check boxes of designers that I like and that I go for, you know, and there's some that I just skip because I've never seen anything that they don't do it for me. Who knows? But yeah, comment down below. I want to see what your thoughts are. So we're going to come right out with the first brand. My first brand that I don't buy, and this has nothing to do, honestly, with what the merchandise looks like, because I actually really happen to like their shoes and a lot of their ready-to-wear, and that's Dolce Gabbana. Like, okay, so every season they do these different like ceramic style prints that I think are beautiful. And I mean, you guys see, I like big bold colors. I like, you know, jewel tones and prints and everything like that, so that it would be very me. Unfortunately, and I don't like to get into like the whole cancel culture of Twitter, but what I've seen from one of the designers at Dolce Gabbana and his like, you know, behavior on social media, I am very, very disappointed by it, and I don't want him to have my money. So simple as that. I don't pretend to know what he's like as a person. I'm not trying to make any, you know, judgments, but I know that what I have seen can no longer be ignored, and I just really can't support the behavior that has been put forth, and just no. But I do want to caution everyone. I have mentioned something to this effect before, but I try my best to not idolize celebrities or designers for these specific reasons. Like, you know, I think one of the biggest detriments to Stefano Gabbana right now, when you compare, you know, Dolce Gabbana to other fashion houses, is that the namesake of the fashion house is still alive to make mistakes. So in, you know, 1955, Coco Chanel didn't have Twitter, so we don't know what she was like as a human being, as an individual, and she could have been terrible as well. But that's what the point of that to say is that when I do shop, I try my best to go for a product that I like and not, you know, try to idolize or emulate or otherwise, like, you know, deify human beings. I'm not into that. When I am shopping luxury, I need to know that this bag is gonna fit my wallet inside of it. Is it gonna match with my outfits? Am I gonna be able to carry this on a night out? So that's what I focus on. I know a lot of other people are a lot more into the history and culture of brands, and that's something that has never been of any particular interest to me. I really am 100% product focused, and yeah, that's sort of where I stand on that. However, there comes a point where what you're seeing can't be ignored. There comes a point where singular actions build together to form a pattern of behavior, and where that pattern of behavior just doesn't align with my values. So I unfortunately cannot shop Dolce Gabbana. And unrelated, I'm not a fan of their bags. And yes, of course, several months ago, there was a large issue with Gucci that I spoke about. I will leave that video linked up here. There is a reason why I have brought Gucci back onto my channel, because initially I was going to, you know, participate in 3-month boycott, etc. And I don't want to get into too much of that in this video because that is a whole other subject. But if you would like to see an update on why I've brought Gucci back into the fold of my content and why I'm still carrying and using my Gucci products, then comment that down below and maybe I'll put something together. Really quickly, in very quick summation, I'm gonna say though that it's not about making a mistake, it's not about saying something bad, it's about showing remorse and feeling sorry, acting sorry, and being sorry, and then, you know, seeking forgiveness, whereas I don't feel like Stefano Gabbana has done that adequately in my eyes. Not enough for me to want to spend, you know, hundreds or thousands of dollars on any of his products. So, unfortunately, no Dolce Gabbana. No Dolce Gabbana. Sorry. Next brand I don't buy, Versace. For me, Versace is like a sensory overload. I feel like other people look great in Versace, but on me, I just feel like everything is like super loud and it's very a lot. And while yes, of course, I mean, I have, you know, the big hair, the big earrings, the big bold prints and the colors and everything like that, but overall, I feel like I dress pretty like basically. Like, I don't feel like the way I dress every day is particularly loud. But yeah, for me, Versace is kind of like a sensory overload. There's just a lot going on with Versace, and it's just very like loud and out there. To me, like, Versace just doesn't really, it can come off as like not elegant sometimes. And obviously, yes, of course, they make, you know, many different types of products for many different types of people, but just from what I've seen of it, it just doesn't really scream my name. Sometimes I feel like I have to try to look elegant at times, and if I'm not careful, I can go from looking like great to looking trashy like really quickly. So that's like sort of something that I have to maneuver around, and it would just be impossible for me to wear Versace and look the way that I want to look, because it just, oh, by the way, that's not to say that everyone who wears Versace doesn't, you know, look elegant and attractive, but it's just, there's a certain way that you have to carry it, and I don't think I can carry that. I think on me it would not look tasteful. And now conversely, the next brand that I don't buy is Bottega Veneta. And for the exact opposite reason. Bottega to me is kind of a snoozer. I don't really see anything like groundbreakingly beautiful about Bottega. I mean, you guys know I've mentioned this before. I'm not a huge fan of leather, and when everyone talks about Bottega and they always mention, oh, they're great quality and blah, 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 and oh, the leather is so luxurious. And number one, Bottega bags do not hold their resale value at all. I will leave some links down below in case you don't believe me. Seriously, go check them out. If you love Bottega, buy it pre-loved. It just looks very, I don't know, like when you see a Bottega bag, like you know it's a Bottega bag, but past that, it's just like, it doesn't look particularly beautiful or attractive to me. And yes, of course, feel free to gush over the quality. That's what everyone does when they say that, oh yes, I love Bottega, the quality of the leather. Oh, right. But I'm interested in style and function over quality. And also, I just don't feel like in 2019, the fashion houses can pretend that they hold a monopoly over great quality, because they don't anymore. They don't. I think it's been made pretty clear that when shopping luxury, we're no longer paying for better quality. I think we're paying for better service. I think that's a thing, but better quality, I think we can find pretty similar quality at much lower price points, and to pretend otherwise, I think, is a little bit naive, honestly. But point being, I'm not into leather, I'm not into slouch, I don't like hobos, So that's all Bottega, and no, meh. The next brand that I don't buy, Balenciaga. Balenciaga. So I tried it before the new, like, you know, the new push, the new Balenciaga stuff, because they really drastically changed their designs over the last few years. A couple of years ago, I bought the, it's called the part-time bag. It's part of the, like, you know, standard motorcycle collection. I'll leave a picture of it here. And that honestly was one of the worst bags that I've ever owned. It is in a similar style to the Classic City. It's just a little bit different, and it sat on the shoulder instead of being top handle, whatever. Not the point of the video, but I realized that I just mentioned this. I hate mushy leather, I hate slouch, and it has like that like effortless, chic, cool girl vibe, and that is not me. That's not me at all. However, the new direction that Balenciaga has gone into, I think, is hideous. I'm sorry, I said it, I'm sorry. The entire direction Balenciaga has gone in is just really, really ugly to me, unfortunately. And I hate using the word ugly, but I'm really lacking in words to use. It's not flattering or beautiful. Like, at least the way that the motorcycle bag looked, like, it looked good. It didn't work out for me, but it was a good looking bag, you know what I mean? But all of this other stuff is just too crazy and weird and doesn't make sense. I've made no secret that I'm not particularly into 2019 fashion at the moment. Not really liking it, unfortunately, but it's just, Balenciaga to me is like the epitome of like trying to do I don't care grungy 2019 fashion, except the prices are just egregious, especially for what the things are. I think this brand is completely 100% hype, and I am just not here for it at all. I'm gonna say something else. Like, I really wish that designers would stop making, I know that streetwear is what they're trying to emulate, but I really wish they would stop trying to make like hoodies and t-shirts. Although the Balenciaga like shearling jacket, the denim jacket, I think both of those are super cool, and I would actually like to own one of those if I actually had a reason for it. I live in Miami, it's 80 degrees here year round. There's really no good reason for me to buy a $5,000 shearling jacket, as much as I want one. But literally everything else is just atrocious to me. I can't. And again, they're trying to emulate the streetwear, and the whole point of the streetwear is that they were using inexpensive things to look cool, and now I feel like they're just copying that and just putting a higher price tag, and just like, they pretty much just tried to bottle that up and sell it. And I know that that is the nature of fashion, basically, so I can't really hate it. I can't really hate on it too bad, because that's just the way things are. But I'm ready for a new set of trends. I'm at the point in the Scrabble game where all of the letters put in front of you are J, K, Q, and S. And you have no vowels, you really cannot do anything, and it is time for us to collectively reshuffle the board, I think. Did I get too lost in that metaphor? I'm keeping it in, but I think I may have, and you guys are free to clown that. The next brand that I don't buy is Prada. I am not a particular fan of the Saffiano leather. So you guys know that I work in the pre-loved industry. So I see bags once they've, you know, achieved certain levels of wear, and it's time for people to resell them. And it's been my experience that with Prada Saffiano leather, unless it's been cared for like immaculately, from what I've seen, it just does not feel good. Of course, I could be just dealing with people who just, you know, treat their things like crap, and that's entirely possible, but I just too often come across Saffiano leather that looks really, really bad for me to want to ever invest in it. I do love the look of the classic totes. It's a really classic silhouette. Something like that is never going to go out of style, but that Saffiano leather just really, really bugs me. And also, I find that Prada has a much more professional vibe that is just not a part of my lifestyle. I mean, I work in resale, I'm a model, I do this, like, that is definitely not the look. That's definitely not my look. So yeah, that is just another reason, because the bags of Prada that I would buy would be one of those, and that just doesn't fit with my lifestyle at all, so it just wouldn't make sense. Next one, let's talk about it. Hermès, brand I don't buy. But you know what? I'm gonna say this is gonna be strictly only for bags, probably also shoes, because their little accessories I think are cute. I have the Hermès Micro Kelly bracelet, which is one of my favorite things ever, and I love it so much. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. So yes, I believe that we as customers, we as consumers, we're the ones that should be choosing the brand, choosing the product, choosing the merchandise. I think it should be a bit more, we'll call it democratic. I think the people should be the one to decide, and it just really, really rubs my sensibilities the wrong way that they are kind of put themselves in a position to choose their customers, and that just doesn't sit right with me. Like, no, like, person with money in hand, you know, I should be choosing you. It shouldn't be the other way around. If someone can explain it to me differently, in a better way than that, then please try, comment below. I'm missing something, obviously, right? The last brand that I don't shop is Louis Vuitton post 2016. I think that is around the time that they decided that they were gonna go off, that they were gonna cycle themselves off of canvas and into more leather. I've said this many times in this video that I prefer canvas to leather. It just happens to be my preference. I like longevity. I like to know that when I buy a bag, I'm gonna be able to wear it for years and years and years. In my eyes, leather doesn't wear as well, and because it is a living, breathing material, it's just over time going to deteriorate. So yes, I could definitely forgive the lack of canvas. That is totally fine. Because I could definitely be persuaded into leather. However, the different direction that they have gone in over the last couple of years, to me, has just looked like a cry for help. There has been maybe like 2 bags in the last 3 years that I've said, huh, I could consider purchasing that. And then outside of those 2 things that I could consider potentially purchasing, everything else is just really bad. If you go from the limited collections, if you go from the non-limited collections, it's just something is off on everything. It's too much. It's a lot. It's a lot to look at. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to handle. And in my eyes, it's just not appealing or attractive anymore. But what I don't understand is that they are changing and moving into this new direction because I feel like they're trying to be Chanel or Hermès. And meanwhile, they've always been #1 in the world. I don't know why. What is the purpose of being #1 if you're still seeking inspiration and looking up to other brands that aren't doing as well as you are? Like, because honestly, like, they could have kept doing what they were doing, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. But they decided to just go in a completely different, other weird, strange direction right when they were at the top. And I mean, allegedly they're still at the top, which is great, but they lost me in the process. Like, tell me any of these collections are attractive, because I don't see it. I don't see it. And to also have basically doubled their prices, sure, you know, prices go up on luxury goods, we all know that, but if they're going up, they should be pretty, right? And again, it's not about the price difference. So instead of the designers designing a bag and then setting a price, it kind of feels to me like the accountants are setting a price and then designing the bag accordingly. That's sort of what it feels and looks like, because there's no good reason why they need the bag to be more expensive, so they just add a random strip of purple leather in the middle of it. So I do still love my Louis Vuitton pieces, and I will still continue to buy Louis Vuitton. It's just that any Louis Vuitton that I buy will be pre-loved. Also, we're not going to get into it too much, but the quality as a whole is not good anymore, and they're having a lot of issues with that. So that's something to take under consideration. But just generally speaking, just the look and the vibe and the style of Louis Vuitton, and then honestly with fashion as a whole right now, is just not meshing with me and my aesthetic. So unfortunately, for the time being, Louis Vuitton post 2016, it's a no. Like, what is that? What is that? What is that? Okay, so I am losing my light once again. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope that it was interesting. Please comment down below if there's any brands that you don't buy and why, because I really want to know what other people's reasoning is. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. Sorry.